Welcome back to Farming with Family. Today we get to start our own roofing repair service. We had a nice rain and water came in the garage, so who knows how long that hole's been up there for. Hopefully there's not too much rotted out around here, but I have an old billboard sign for a tarp. I'm just going to put over for now. And this is going to get a new steel roof, kind of like the house. So we're going to do that to match. So, but for now, we're going to do this. Looks like we have rain the next, like, starting Wednesday night, Thursday morning, all the way through Saturday. So we're going to get this patched up for now, and we might be able to get in the field maybe Wednesday before it starts raining. So that's what we're going to cross our fingers for. But for now, got to get this patched before more rain comes and more water leaks in the garage. Got the tarp laid out. I got some boards, might have to get a few more just to stake down so the wind doesn't catch it and take it away. If anyone's afraid of heights, don't look down now. But we'll get this staked down, then it should be good to at least hold most of the rain for now. Got the tarp all laid out, got the boards laid out where I want them to go. So we'll get these screwed down and hopefully it holds when the next windstorm comes up. Well, yeah, my thing of screws went sliding off. Bumped it a little bit and there's no catching that thing. Climb down and pick up the screws. For every job, there's a tool that makes that job easier. And this is one of them. This little magnetic roller that I got. We done some construction on our bathroom and wanted to make sure there wasn't any nails laying around. That makes quick work of it. Okay, back to work. Keep screwing it down. Don't fall off this time. The tarp is on. And best of all, if you want a job driving, looks like truck or bus, you can call whoever, Polar Trailers, something like that. Not sure the number on here anymore. I actually used part of this last year to make the tarp for my grain cart that's set way over there. And it worked pretty good, so hopefully it'll keep my garage dry until we get it fixed. But now on to the next thing. Well, we were about ready to go plant corn. I had everything filled up and corn planter all ready to go, sitting out in the field. And then the cat started chugging and kind of spitting and sputtering. And then it flashed a code. Long story short, after talking to Butler in Aberdeen, sounds like there's something wrong with my fuel pump or injector pump. So that's gonna have to go down there for service. They could come out and fix it here in the field, but they're looking at a week from now until they can actually get out here to come and actually check it out, diagnose it, and then even longer to get parts, and then when they can come back to fix it. So we're gonna just haul it down there. That should shave off, you know, a number of days, hopefully. But so we got to take all the monitors out of this that are set up for the corn planter and switch them over to my other tractor. I think I'm going to try to pull it with my 4440. It'll have enough power. We just got to add some weight to the front end. So we're going to try to get that set up. For that, it already has auto steer, so I just got to take my control box and my precision planting monitor out. But I'm gonna take all my John Deere auto steer stuff out, like my auto steer steering wheel, my monitor, the globe on top, just because I want to put that in my 4560 in case I need to, you know, if this thing's broke down longer and I need to use my 4560 to plant soybeans with my air seeder. So that's the what's going on today. So not the perfect time. It sucks to be ready to go and it's time to plant and then you have to end up doing this, but hopefully it's, you know, nothing too major, that they can get it fixed and then get parts for it. So we're going to work on taking this apart today and getting it loaded up and hauled down to Aberdeen. So we'll check back later and give you some more updates when we know some more. Got everything taken out of here. All the monitors are gone. Kind of seems naked in here, but they'll get put back in eventually. We're gonna haul it down. I talked to them. Sounds like they'll get it in beginning of next week. It's Thursday today, so we'll get it down there this late afternoon, and hopefully Monday they can get it in and start working on it. And I don't know, best case scenario, they can have it done, turned around in about a week. So we will see, but stay tuned for more, I guess. Well, it's the next day. I finished getting the tractor all set up for the corn planter. So I got my controller box put in. That's what controls all the different cylinders, how I want to lift it, how I want to spread it. Got that all installed. Got my precision planting monitor installed. Put my monitor back in. That will do the auto steer and mapping. And what else? I had to take out my sprayer control that does like my rate control, but I left this one in that does my controls my booms on my sprayer. I just slid it over. There's actually enough space on this thing, so a little bit more crowded in here than the Cat tractor, but it'll work. It lifts it just fine. It should pull it just fine. I needed some weight in the front because when you go down the road with this thing, there's quite a bit of weight. So it's a 2-point hookup. So there's weight all the way from there, and the tires are all the way in the very back. So all of this is tongue weight. So it is quite heavy, or can be quite heavy. So far I put in about, I got the rock box. This probably weighs 200-300 pounds in itself. Then I put various different slab weights that I have. I have 3 more, so right now I have about 600 pounds in there, and I'll put in about another 300, and that should keep it on the ground a little bit better. In the field it's not such an issue, just because it's unfolded, so there's not near as much tongue weight. Most of the weight's on the planter then. It was just when you're transporting it on the highway. So, but it sprinkled just a little bit, so I think I'll go in and eat a little bit of lunch. Not a whole lot, but we'll go eat a little lunch, see if it's, you know, they're still dusted. It really didn't do much, so the rain can hold out for a little while. We'll start planting corn. Never thought I'd be planting with the 4440, but trusty old iron has to work sometimes. So it should have enough power. It should do just fine. A lot of other guys have said that they've pulled these planters with smaller tractors, so we'll get after it here in a little bit. I put the chain under here just because the whole point of this rock box is you can flip this lever backwards and it'll dump out everything. So like when you're carrying rocks, you just dump them out and leave them. Well, I don't want my weights to fall out, so I precautionary put a chain and binder on there, because otherwise it's these 3 tabs and these 3 bolts that hold it in there, which must not be too much weight because this one's still loose, so I got enough tension on here. So we'll give her a good old try. Here's the maiden voyage for this equipment combo setup. even with all the tongue weight, it still can steer pretty well, pretty responsive. It's doing pretty good. Still misting a little bit. We'll get the other weight put in and check it out. But so far so good. Well, what do you know, we're gonna give it a try. Get it unfolded and see what we can do. It's actually dried out enough. So I got a round made on one of my ends, so got that end all done. Those always take the longest because you gotta, you know, follow the way the road and the fence and the field goes. So you just do a special setting in your auto steer. We got that figured out, and then it started to rain. So we're done for the day. I'm not sure how much we're supposed to get over this weekend, but we'll just play it by ear. And but I got the GPS figured out. It wasn't painting for some reason, but I figured out how to get that to work. Just trial and error, and all the row units seem to be working, putting the seed down where it's supposed to be. I'm gonna try to bump up my population. I'm at about 23,500 population. I want to be more around like 25, 26. So just got to figure out the sprocket combination for that. But once it dries out a little more, we'll give it another try. Well, like I said, we got rained out. So now we're getting the air seeder ready. Might as well get it out, have it ready. So when it's time to go, you just pull it out. So right in the middle of greasing, 48 row units to do, 3 grease zerks a piece, plus different wheels. So lots of greasing, my favorite thing to do. So these last two, this one and this one, are a little bit tight. This packer wheel is supposed to move like this, but these ones, they'll move, but they're a little stiff, so we got to work them back and forth to get the grease to go into them. This one's gotten better, but you just got to work that grease back and forth into them, so we'll keep going. So we're putting some new pipes on that go on the tool part. These are the old ones, and they are getting all rusted out and thin, so we got some new aluminized ones. So we cut them. Now we just gotta get them smoothed out. There's a little angle die grinder. So these pipes run between, usually the air cart is in front with hoses that go from the air cart to the tool, the planting part, and then these pipes are going to sit right here because this part never moves or flexes, and then they go into these hoses which go to one of the 6 towers that gets your seed and fertilizer moved around and put in the row that it needs to go to. But the old ones, they're just regular metal, and over time fertilizer is really corrosive on it. So like you can see, it's wore a hole through right there, and they're just getting really thin. So just got some of this stuff. It's like something you'd use for type of muffler or exhaust system. So we're gonna replace those so we don't have any air leaks. And then a few of these hoses we got to replace. There's 3 new ones, 3 old ones, so we'll figure out which ones are getting the worst, and I got some hose, so we'll replace them and have that part redone. Put a little soap water on this. We'll see if it slides on. No promises, but we'll try. There we go. That's much better. I might need a little extra hose. Where do you got one?
Drilled right there, right on top of the...
Alright. Should have slipped that over before if I was smart. Put our hose clamp on. That'll work. Alright, so some of these are, the bearings like this one is going out and they spin real rough, so we're just taking and gonna put new bearings in. So you gotta lift this gauge wheel, get your wrench on, then you can get the impact on. Then it's got 3 little spacers. Put it back together like it was, so you don't have to remember. And just put the nut back in. Then we'll put new bearings inside of here, because this one you can hear it's all shot. Then it'll be good for a while. All right, we're corn planting today. We've got about 9,500 acres done so far, but got a little fix to do. One of our tensioners wasn't quite long enough, and our chain just kept jumping, so it kept skipping and making my population go down. So we made a new adjuster bracket or tensioner bracket. A little bush fix out in the field. So we'll get this going, and then we'll keep on planting. I started way over there, and I got to go to there. But this is the shortest part of the field because you got to go around the trees, and I did over there already, so it's just this shorter part, about 50 more acres. Then we'll move on to the next field. All right, got our little tensioner put on, chain just about the right length, right tension. We'll give it another try. Well, the struggle bus is completely full today, and we're riding on it. We keep having issues with it skipping. We figured out that it's probably, there's a counter shaft clutch over there by where that blue pump is. That when I set the planter down, it has 2 different gears that come together and lock in place. Well, it's kind of worn and rounded, so it clicks into place, but then it slowly works its way out. Then about every 8-9 seconds, it comes apart and then it snaps back together. So call John Deere, they should have them by tomorrow morning. It's making my, my skips go up. You can see that skips are like overall 2.3%. On my right side of the planter, they're fine. On my left side where it's skipping, that's where it's being higher. But I want my population around 25.5 to 26, and my population's still getting there. So for now, we're gonna keep going, keep driving. It's not gonna make that much of a difference. There'll be a little, there'll be a little gap, some places where a corn kernel doesn't drop down in the exact right spot. But overall, my population will be there. So it's not ideal, but something like that, I think it's worth keeping going. And you never know what the weather's gonna do and that kind of thing. So I got it ordered, but in the meantime we'll keep on going. Otherwise everything else seems to be working fine. The tractor's pulling it good. An update on the cat, we did get it back. It turns out it was just a bad sensor that was basically not telling the fuel pump what to do. When they were checking it, they thought the fuel pump was bad, like it wasn't working efficiently, but then they got a new sensor and put that in, and then it actually told the fuel pump the proper readings, and then the efficiency came back to normal. So that was nice. It was just a sensor. We got that home yesterday. I'm gonna try to plant as much as I can the way with this tractor. It's been working okay, except for if it gets a little bit muddy, but I think most of the rest of my land is dried out pretty good. So I am probably going to end up planting the rest of my corn with this tractor. I got to plant my cousins. They have I don't know, 3-4 days worth of planting. So in between there, I'll switch, you know, my monitors and wiring harness over back to the cat, and then use that. But for now, this is doing okay. So yeah, that's the struggle bus we're riding today, but it's going all right. We're still going. There goes Caleb with the disc. He's gonna go hit the field that's just kitty corner over there. There's a few just little wet spots. He worked it up yesterday, and it's dried pretty good. There's just some clumps on the top, so he's gonna go just that real quick and get it a little bit smoother. But otherwise, I just have to go over to the road there, and then I'm pretty much done with this field. There's a little bit in the feedlot where it was dry, and then we got like about 3.5 inches of rain, and all that, you know, just kind of go down there. Oh, in the call. As I was saying, that spot in the whole feedlot where all the water came, that got wet again. So I planted up there about as close as we could work with the disc. I'll plant the rest of my stuff. I'll probably plant my cousin's stuff, and then when I come back, hopefully that'll all be dry by then. But just a few more rounds to go. I think I gotta go over to about there. So getting closer. Also, fun fact about eating lunch in the field: you take your loaf, put it in the window, let the sun beat on it for about 20 minutes. Got a nice warm meal. Follow me for more tips. So as I go back and forth, I got all these sky carp flying around, following me, eating whatever bugs or worms come out of the soil. So I got the last little bit of my plum that I had for lunch. So let's see if they can catch it. Nope, they didn't even see it. Okay, last round. So I'm going to do a whole length here and a whole width of the planter. But as you can see over there, I'm not going to get a full pass in. So I can shut, with this planter, I can shut half of it on, half of it off. So I'll come around and go back, and I'll drive about as close as I can to the fence, and I'll shut the right side of the planter off so it's not double seating over here, and let the left half of the planter plant over there. The last 8 rows, once they grow, they'll overlap a little bit in spots, but it looks like it should be pretty close. But once I open up the field in the fall when I'm harvesting, you'll get that first 8 rows out of the way, and then it should look much better. Okay, so this last part, I'm backed up where I want to start. I'm going to put the planter down. Get all the way, and then I'm going to hit my clutch disengage right, and then I pull up on my lever just a tiny bit. It doesn't really lift the planter, it just disengages the clutch, and then I'll start going. So I'll face you like this for a second until I get going. Here comes Vaughn on the bus. Pick him up here in a second. Alright, let's go. Now my monitor is telling me my right side is not seating, so that's okay. A few things to watch over here. To go around along the ditch. If I can miss those, I'll be good. Yep, just by a hair. Gotta weave between the telephone poles. The monitor's still yelling at me, that's alright. This is gonna end up being just about right. past this next telephone pole, I'll show ya. You don't want to hit telephone poles, especially when they got power lines attached to them. Power company does not like that. Alright, so I'll get over by the fence again. So that part over there is not seeding, but it's just driving over where I've already planted. And I can actually follow my line right there. I stay just a little bit beside it. And my other row stays right beside that. So it's working okay. Another power pole coming up. Another obstacle to dodge. And yes, farmers have taken out power poles before. I have not been one of those. I try not to flirt with danger that much. There we go. Get back over, find my line. Sorry, you're looking at the cat post. That's probably not very much fun. Not hit the fence. This is telling me that my one side isn't seating, which is okay. It's actually backwards. It looks like it's on my left side, but it's actually my right side. Another power pole. Let's see if we can avoid that. And I always put the clutch in just a little bit. We're almost to the end. Just gotta go up to there. I made it this far, I think I can do the rest. Getting a little closer to the fence. Might have to scoot over a little bit. And here we are. All right, lift up. We're good. Now I'll fold up and go to the next field. So now I'm gonna switch to transport mode. So switch that over. I'm not sure if I can show you this. I'll just point you outside. Get my thing set up. Oh, that's my popcorn. My cheesy puffs. Let's see if I can do it this way. Hold on. Alright. I'm gonna try to fold it. Okay, so we gotta do fold. That's how you fold up a planter. Heading home to fill some fuel. Burned about 3/4 of the tank to plant that. About 131 acres, it says. Pulls it down the road pretty good. Some people drink coffee, some people drink pop. This thing likes cherry flavored lemonade. It's good stuff. After you're done filling, you never want to be that guy that forgets to put the fuel cap back on. I always said it here because if I would ever drive off, at least I don't lose the fuel cap. I have forgotten it at least once, but not today. So I had a little leftover starter fertilizer from last year that I put in a tote and saved over the winter because it's like 50 gallons and you don't want to waste this stuff. It's kind of spendy. So we're just draining it out, putting it in the tank. It's going to get it used up. So then if I have any extra this year, then I'll just put it back in this tank and save it for next year. Because they weigh it's so much per ton, but I want to say there's like, in 1 gallon it's like 12 pounds, so whatever it comes out to, but it's not cheap by any means, but it helps the corn just get off to a faster start and helps it grow a little bit throughout the season. So we're almost done. A little bit left in there, about 20 more gallons. Now we're gonna get some work done. Vaughn's with me.
Yep.
Are you in charge now?
No.
Oh, shucks. I was hoping he was. Okay, welcome back for another day. We're finishing corn planting on my land. So we're to our last field, got everything filled up, and we're ready to go. This field is, I'm guessing, about 70 acres with the wet spots. It's a whole quarter, but I'm going to plant about half the field. So we'll just kind of see how far the seed goes and go from there. But we had some breakdowns last night. One of my counter shaft clutches, that actually drives the planter, drives the seed boxes, that had got so wore that it would skip all the time. So we ended up getting a new part and got that put back together. Now it's working flawlessly. So we'll hopefully get done tonight. Might be a little bit late, but we'll get done with this and then we'll move on to my cousin's corn and hopefully start planting theirs tomorrow. So on to the last field. Okay, so I'm getting the first round done on this field, planting my one end. Well, I guess this is the side you would call it, but anyways, I gotta follow this fence line, try to get as close as I can. As you can see, there's some weeds that are gonna need to be sprayed next week once I get to it. But so what I do, I go all the way from back there, I set my A point on my GPS, I drive all the way to up there. When I get to the end, I set my B point. That makes a straight line. So when I go back, this is going to have some curves in it where I go back and forth to avoid rocks and whatever. But then when I go back, it'll overlap on some of the rows, but the rest of the field will be straight in theory. So the first pass, you always got to pay close attention and just try to get it as straight as you can and not hit anything like that big rock that's coming up right there. Got to avoid that. That would do a little damage. But we'll get down to the other end, we'll set our B point. Okay, got the first pass done around the side and the one end. As you can see where I recorded earlier, disking around all these little water spots. It's definitely not a straight line. So I did one pass around. I'm following my AB line all the way to the other end of the field just to kind of see where I come out, if it's where I think I want to be. It kind of looks like it, which is about the halfway point of the field. So I'm gonna do this and then I'll keep working on the other side and then the ends. But it's kind of just a crapshoot how it's gonna be a snake. When I combine this, I'm gonna have to definitely not be sleepy, otherwise it'll be a little complicated to combine, but we'll get it eventually in the fall. This is gonna be beans over here again, so luckily that'll all be harvested. So this first pass that I'm doing, there'll be nothing over there, so I can access it pretty easily and get the field opened up fairly easily. So that part will help at least. But otherwise, planter is still working good. We did lose, you see back there's one lid cover. Somehow it blew off on the drive over here. So my brother's, he brought me another lid, so I'm gonna pick it up when I get done with this pass. But so I got to do from about here over to where that green field starts. So it'll be lots and lots of turning, considering this wet area goes from there all the way to the other end of the field. It's about halfway. And then on the other end, there's another slough, so it's just little passes back and forth there. So it'll be fun, to say the least. Well, I'm still working on this field, getting quite a bit done. My fertilizer's getting lower, my seed's getting lower, but I've almost got this main middle part. The fence is about over there, kind of on the horizon. We'll get this main part done, and then once I get a few more passes here, I'll go work over there, and then it gets to be a longer portion. Yeah, so we'll see how it keeps going. Otherwise, the planter's working good and everything's going as planned. So maybe it won't be too late of a night time I get done, but I'm gonna try to seed out what I have in the box at least and go from there. All right, we got the field done. Feels good to be done with that. Now it's on to my cousin's corn. This is how much I had left. So that's pretty exact. I don't think it's enough to make one more pass down the field, because I don't want to go to each box and put a little bit in this, put a little bit in that, and it just takes a long time. So I do have a little bit more to plant at my place in the feedlot, because it was just too wet. So I'll plant all their stuff, then I'll empty out this seed. Is probably maybe a 5-gallon bucket worth, if that. So I'll empty it out, save it, take it back and use it when I plant the little bit of area in my feedlot. It's probably about 2 acres maybe, so we have enough to do that. I do have a little bit of fertilizer left over, so either I'll have them use that and we'll figure that out, or I'll pump it out and pump it back into my tank and save it for next year. So, but thanks for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed it. If there's anything specific that you want to see in the videos on the farm, just let me know. We'll see if we can make it happen. But thanks again for watching. Have a good night.